one of the most common questions that I face is, Piers, what is your secret for success? And I get it from relatives, I get it from colleagues here, I get it outside there, I get it a lot on social media. And every time I listen to them, I already start thinking the kind of answer they're expecting. Like, you know, which school did you go to? Which degree did you study? What certifications or professional papers did you get? Who is your mentor? What else do people ask? Which books do you read? Which book changed your life? Isn't it, eh? Yeah? What time do you wake up? How is your routine in the evening? How is your routine in the morning? And I reflect and ponder over that question, and every time I answer it very different, but with only one word all the time. I say God. And it kind of, you know, rattles them, many people, because it's not what they expect. It is also kind of deflating because it doesn't sound like a secret, but it is a real secret. I keep asking myself, and I want you to ask yourself, Jacqueline, in the whole world, are you the best person for your job? Charles, are you the best person in the whole world right now for the job that you do? Is Piers the best CEO that NABO can ever have at this point in time? And I mean, forget everything else, as in I have earned it. The simple answer is no. There are people who are far much better than us. They can run NABO better than you and I. They can do what you do better than you, 10 times more. But then the question is, why is it that God chose you? How come you find yourself, Winfred, welcome, yeah? On your second day in NABO, are we saying that you're the best person that could have entered NABO? Now, in terms of qualifications, you have the best degrees, you have the best qualification, you have best experience. The answer is no. Isn't it, eh? And that answer always humbles me. Because if I am not the very best, then why am I? Why am I here? And I realize I am here because I'm appointed. This is my time. You get, eh? You're where you are because you are appointed. Cynthia, you've been here for 5 years? I'm clocking 4 years, eh? How many people have come to NABO and left you here? You were part of an internship program.
Yeah.
How many cohorts of internship have come and left? You here? Quite a number.
Yeah.
Isn't it, eh? So why are you still here? You're chosen. Yeah? Irene, you attempted to enter the Centum group a couple of times, isn't it? Eh? You were even interviewed.
2021.
Since 2021. You only had a breakthrough in 2024, towards the end.
Yeah.
You almost crossed over 2025. Why? It comes down to that one word. God chose you. Then if God chose me, then I need to look at my job very differently. Isn't it, eh? If you walk here, you know, with your chest up, I'm the best guy for this thing, you will be humbled. Life will humble you. Yeah? Let me give you a short story about how I found myself in the Centum group and now what I'm doing. I was called I used to work at not at Toyota, East Africa. And one of my colleagues came and asked me for my CV. And I said, I don't just dish out my CV to anybody. It was a lady. And she said, no, I'm not going to leave here until you give me your CV. And I surrendered. I couldn't fight her. Yeah. So I gave her my CV, but did I know where my CV went? I didn't know. The next thing, I was called for an interview. So I was like, okay, who is this guy? They are called ICDCI. They were called ICDC Investment. Who are they? What do they do? You know, I had such a short period of time to even try and understand who they are. But because I had not even finished 1 year at Toyota, I was like, I'm not interested. But out of courtesy, because they had already called me, I came for the interview. I entered the reception. That office was half of what we have today. Everybody, including the CEO, there were like 11 people. Everybody. I entered, waited to be called for an interview. I had an interview with Rispa, James, and there is a gentleman who was called David Owino. And at the end of the interview, they asked me, do you have any question for us? I said, I hope the best person is picked, but I was hoping I'm not the best person. I didn't even put on a jacket. You know the way you prepare for an interview? I didn't even put on a jacket because this was more of a disruption than what I wanted. I just wanted to get rid of it. I left here. Those days I never used to drive, so I jumped into a matatu. And as I was exiting, just outside Toyota, you know where it is, I got a call. And they're like, Piers, we want to ask you to come for a second interview. I'm like, this is the fastest response. The very thing I'm trying to push away, the very thing it is calling me. So I had not spent time to know who they are. So I was like, okay, let me try and understand who they are. So I started researching. I'm like, wow, there's a guy called James Moria. We are almost age mate. He has done so much, you know. There's a guy called David Owino. Oh yeah, these guys have accomplished so much. There's a lady called Rispa. And I was like, wow. In Toyota, I was a star. But here, I felt I was behind all of them. People needed to learn from me. Here, I needed to learn from. And something in me just turned. I just started now wanting to be part of the company. So now I was interested. So they had given me an interview on a Friday. On that Friday, unfortunately, Toyota Japan had sent their head of internal audit to audit us, and the head of internal audit in Toyota was more senior than even the CEO of any outlet of Toyota companies anywhere in the world. So when that guy came, it used to be called Yamada. When the Yamada came, everything in the company came to a standstill. That guy had 4 days to do internal audit for every single outlet he had entered into. When he showed up, nobody left the company, including the CEO, until he left. And he would leave at midnight. So I have an interview, but Yamada is coming to audit my section. It's not even for discussion. So I told the lady who had asked for my CV, please call them, because I'm so busy here, and tell them to reschedule the interview. Now I'm interested. Later on, they never even called me, but later on, so that was June 2004. October 2004. Now, see, that job, I lost it. October 2004, I'm leaving Toyota. I'm outside the showroom, and I meet this guy called David Owino, who used to be one of the managers. And he's like, Piers, we really liked you. We wanted you to join us, but we realized you are not interested. So when you didn't show up, the lady who, because there were only two of you, we had called for the final interview. The lady who was your alternate showed up. We gave her the job, and then she showed up the following Monday. And then James Moria handed over work to her. She worked half a day, went for lunch, and never came back. So we called her. She sent us an SMS saying she has resigned on SMS. Winfred, you've already broken that record. You're still here. Anyway, they were like, so he was like, we were so disappointed by both of you that we, shelved that interview, started a whole new process, invited new candidates. We have interviewed all of them, and none of them has been able to fit the bill. So it's October, 4 months later. And so you're like, now, don't worry. If you're still interested, we can call you for an interview, maybe even next week. Sure enough, they called me for an interview the following week. I showed up, October 2004. I met the CEO, and the CEO asked me everything about cars. Which car would you recommend? We spoke about cars, and then he said, the interview is done. I was like, wait, we have not even begun talking about the job. He said, I'm done. He said, I was like, do you want to see my papers? Maybe they are not even real, So he just stood up, looked at my papers, put them back in a brown envelope, handed them to me, and you were done. So later on, I was told he walked to where the managers used to sit. He said, we have found our man. And here I am, almost 21 years later, Jacqueline. It feels like yesterday. And one song, I kept remembering one song. I don't know whether you remember that song. You see, akisema atakubariki, hakuna atakayezuia. When God says He's going to bless you, no one can stop it. So the question is, did I get here by qualifications, or did I get here by appointment? By divine appointment. So once you start understanding that everything about success is coming from Him, then success starts happening to you. And there are 4 things I want to speak about. When your success is coming powered by God, it has 4 things that will always be consistent. Number 1 is alignment. Alignment. Now listen to this. True success begins where self ends and where surrender begins. Have you understood that? Yeah? True success begins where self ends and where surrender begins. It is when you realize that you're not the driver of success. So, you are here by divine appointment. That one I know. Isn't it? Everybody here I have a story, and everybody here has a story. But then you realize, Cynthia, you didn't create, there is no way you could have justified yourself to be in NABO. There is no way.
But I never saw myself in financial services.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You could have been in media. Isn't it? So you realize true success begins where self ends, where surrender begins. Surrendering to what? To the will? To the will of God. So success doesn't start with strategy. Yeah? It starts with surrender. Yeah? Alignment is living a life at the pace and posture, and purpose of God. So you are not the one who is driving it. You are being driven. Yeah? Let me give you another short story. So I'm a guy of stories. 2014, May 2014, we were having a meeting in a small meeting room near where the entrance is. James Moria was seated next to me, and a couple of other colleagues were seated there. And we finished, as we were going through the meeting, James Moria looked at me and said, "Pius, what are you doing on May 9th? And you know, when your boss asks you what you're doing on a particular date, you avail yourself, isn't it? Remember, success starts with self, where self ends and surrender begins. So I said, "What do you want me to do for you?" He said, I'm supposed to be on a panel in Dubai. I would want you to represent me. Like, wow. I said, I will. How did I know how to do it? No, I had never sat in a panel before. Now I'm not even sitting in a panel in Kenya. I'm sitting in a panel in Dubai. So, little did I know, I was going to travel on that trip with the late Dr. Chris Kirubi. And he was sitting on a panel, and I was sitting on a panel. So I've taken the place of James Moria, Dr. James Moria. So I sat on the panel, it went very well. We left, Dr. Chris Kirubi and I. We were joined, of course, with other important people, ambassador of Kenya in Dubai. When you're with Chris Kirubi, you are with who, you get, And then as you were walking on the corridor, I heard, Pius. And I said, in fact, it's the first time I stepped in Dubai. Who in Dubai knows my name? I looked back, and there was this young lady who was all smiles, and she was speaking to me like she knows me and she's known me for many years. And she says, "My name is Mercy." And I say, and I'm like, "Okay, how do you know my name?" And she's like, "I saw your names and on the whatever, I'm a Kenyan, I live in Dubai, That was the introduction. Let me tell you, from that handshake, for the next 3 days, Mercy and I were like this. You get, Chris Kirubi, the late Dr. Chris Kirubi, when you were leaving, he's like, "Pius, hire this girl. She has made me even to forget the ambassador of Kenya." And I didn't understand anything he said. I mean, how do you meet someone and you hire them after 3 days? But as life would have it, Nabo and the organization she was working for were very alike, and we really formed a partnership with them. And out of that, the Sabis Runda International School was built. Yeah. Out of that, just during COVID time, Mercy relocates back to Nairobi from Dubai, and because she wanted her kids to go to Sabis, she ends up becoming my neighbor. Remember, we were all influenced by we pitched for Sabis. So we actually committed while we were in, Lebanon. When we were there, our kids will definitely go to Sabis. So her kids were going to do Sabis in Dubai. My kids were going to Sabis in Kenya because of that connection. Then she relocates here, and now she's my neighbor because she needs to be near the school. And one of our staff leaves, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, but Mercy is around. And that's how Mercy came to Nabo. But that was almost like 6-7 years later. Yeah? Do you see? Did Mercy create her job in Nabo? No. So I can tell a story about each and every person. When I look at Charles here, Charles is now the oldest, eh? Charles has, yes, after me. But Charles can tell you he has seen several generations of investment teams. But the question is, why is Charles still here? Isn't it, eh? We cannot say he was the smartest. Can you say he was the smartest? Of all the people who've come and gone? No. But God chooses us, isn't it, eh? So, alignment is saying, not my will, but your will. Okay? You know, there is something so beautiful about when you surrender to God, alignment. That alignment, the world seems to conspire in your favor. You get, eh? Things just happen. You're not controlling them. You get, eh? And how I found myself in Dubai, I can't explain it. I asked myself, if I didn't go to Dubai, would there be Service Ronda today? Would there be a $40 million investment? How many children would have missed the opportunity to be in one of the best schools in the world? You get, eh? Where would Mercy be? Right? Isn't it? Eh? So why did that lady insist on taking my CV and sending it to a place that I did not know? That's what I'm saying. Alignment. Alignment is when everything, you seem to be in the right place at the right time with the right people all the time. Yeah. So, alignment. You don't chase it. It is chasing you. Everything is working in your favor. Right? It's because of alignment. I'm seated there doing my job nicely, and she introduces my new wife to me. Here, Cynthia, and by the way, hides it. Does not tell me that there is a lady coming called Joyce and will change your life. Alignment. Me, I just surrendered. God, you brought us. Our too. Anthony, you could just be doing your job. And alignment too. Yeah? Isn't it, huh? When you align with God, He orders your steps. He orders your steps. And He accelerates your journey. Yeah? Alignment brings clarity, peace, and divine favor. Now, for me, that last one is the one. Divine favor. Sue, when is the first time you met me? No. Yeah, when is the first time you met me? 2023?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. I was speaking at Strathmore. Was that the first time?
That was the second time.
That was the second time?
Yes.
Did you ever imagine that you'll be working with me?
No.
See. Right?
Yeah.
Alignment. So, me, I don't know. You know, if your job makes you lose sleep, makes you have high blood pressure, makes you, just be rattled, you need to go back to God. You need to go back to God. There's something missing. You get, eh? Have you seen a car that is misaligned? Eh? Even the wheels, they just seem they want to go in a different direction. Some of us, and majority of us, are living lives that are misaligned. you're trying to, oh man, I'm saying so difficult things, eh? When you're in the right relationship, and I'm talking about the people who are dating, when you're in the right relationship, you are aligned. But if you are misaligned, you can be in it for 10 years, but you're still misaligned. So, if you want to go far, start going deep with the Father. Do I repeat that? If you want to go far, start going deep with your Father. Don't chase blessings. Align yourself with a blesser. Have you ever seen, how many of you have a phone call? When you see it coming, yeah? You know somebody is about to bankrupt you. How many of you, is it just me? Yeah? You know your M-Pesa balance is about to change. And not upwards, it's downwards. It is consistent. In fact, you just put it on and after the greetings, you're waiting for the next statement. Isn't it, eh? How does it feel when you're giving that person? Do you want to give them a lot or do you want to give them little? Yeah? Little, isn't it, eh? Little. But then there is somebody else, they are constantly, they never ask you for anything. They just want the best for you, Jackie. Yeah? They just check on you. How are you doing? Is everything okay? Oh, I have a cold. They send you a dawa. That kind of person you feel like giving them, isn't it? Eh? So we also need to reassess our relationship with the Father. Is it one where we are like those people who, when they call, they're in need? Do we call the Father only when we're in need, or are we actually building a real relationship? Okay? Alignment starts from alignment with the Father, isn't it? Eh? If you're using God as a gumboot, you only look for Him when it is raining, then you also tend to find you get very little just to survive by. But if your relationship is one of forget all the provisions, I want you. Provision just seems to come from everywhere. Everywhere. The blessings chase you. Sawa. So, number one is alignment. When you're in alignment with God, you find yourself in your purpose. You will find your purpose. Okay? And this is what I love about God. God doesn't make extras. He creates with intentionality. That's why there is no other Irene. If we start describing Irene, you will find there is no other. There is no other Irene. There is no other Ken. There is no other Joshua. Yeah? Why would God go to such great lengths, yet we still compare ourselves to one another? There is no other version like Sue. So, and if you are so unique, like the way a microwave is different from a fridge, then each of us must have a unique purpose. Isn't it, eh? So you are not born merely to exist, Anthony. No. You are born to solve a problem. A problem. And you are the answer to a divine question. You. Nabo Capital will miss something when you're not there. Because nobody else can replace you. There's nobody I know in Abo Capital that is as cheerful as Cynthia. And playful. Even though she hides. Isn't it? Eh? Who would miss that, Cynthia? There's no one else like you. But you know what? That's what our customers love about you. When they talk to you, they're like, hey, I want to meet Cynthia. People come and say, they meet me and they say, but who is Cynthia? Me, I've been talking to Cynthia. I want to meet Cynthia. Don't underestimate who you are. You are born for a unique purpose. And this is the thing which we forget. Purpose is not something we invent. Purpose is not something you invent. It is something you discover. When I was growing up and we had a good life, then my dad lost his job, and we couldn't even know where our next meal would come from. I look back and I'm like, okay, God, I get it. You just wanted me to taste what poverty tastes like, so that I dislike it so much that I will spend the rest of my life trying to save as many people as possible from. That's my purpose. Did I invent it? I discovered it. And I'm still discovering. But I am not like anybody else. I'm not like any other CEO. You get, eh? So, Paul, he persecuted Christians with passion. And guess what? Paul was convicted in himself that he was doing the right thing and he was doing it for God. And Christians hated him. But on his way to Damascus, he had the encounter. And he was blind for 3 days. Isn't it, eh? And then his eyes were opened. And suddenly he understood what his mission was. And God sends Ananias to go and lay hands on him. Yeah? And Ananias is like, hey, do you know that guy? And God is like, are you sure you can school me about who Paul is? And like, that guy, that one you're thinking is a bad guy, that one I have a purpose for him. I have a reason for him. You get, eh? Now, nobody else has written as many books in the Bible. Like Paul. Right? Paul never walked with Jesus like the disciples. But when he opened his mouth, it was like he had been with Jesus every single day. Isn't it? Eh? Why? There was nobody else like Paul. God wanted someone with zeal like Paul. He would kill for God, even though he is killing the wrong people. Yeah? Isn't it? Eh? So, knowing your purpose guards you from comparison and distraction. You get, eh? Knowing your purpose guards you from comparison and distraction. So, Ken and Joshua work in the same department, and David there, isn't it? Eh? So David is looking at Ken and like, hey, the way Ken has just unearthed an opportunity, and he's like, I need to do my own, isn't it? Eh? That will make David miss his purpose, isn't it? Eh? If David knows his purpose, he does not have to feel bad or jealous because Ken is shining, because there is nobody else like David. He will also shine in a particular area. So don't compare yourself with anybody else. Whenever you find yourself comparing with anybody else or feeling, hey, this person is moving faster than me, you probably have not figured out purpose. Remember, purpose is not invented, it is discovered. Right now, as we are having this conversation, some of you are already, their purpose is unfolding. It may not be in full, but in part. This is part of it. How do you know purpose? Give a guess. Sue. How do you know you're in purpose?
I'd say the alignment you're talking about, the peace, the contentment that you mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to try? There's something about purpose that is so powerful, it makes it stand out.
I think personally on my personal journey, it's how God has pruned me into his own discovery about who I am. Yeah, so that I can say that the pruning and the pain that I've gone through is what has made me to discover my purpose.
But there's a test. The test is if God told me to come and do what I do for free, I would still do it. Can you do what you do for free? Because you really love it and because it really gives you fulfillment. If you can do it, then you're probably in your purpose. And so that's why you find when people are in their purpose, they are able to overcome any obstacles. They are so resilient. You get, eh? Yeah. When you talk about like Elon Musk, those guys, they don't care about anything else except this mission, getting to a particular endpoint. They are not looking at money in the bank. They're not looking at all those things. They're not looking at, and those guys, I mean, how many times has Elon Musk gone bankrupt? Many, isn't it? Eh? Many people are not willing to pay that price. Purpose, when you are in your purpose, you are willing to pay a very high price for it.
It's the pruning process.
Yeah. Yeah. But the compensation is, you see, the compensation is a big factor. Eh?
Yeah.
When you remove the compensation, who are you when you remove the compensation? If today, let me tell you, you are HR. Today, go write a memo and say, everybody, there is no salary from tomorrow. In fact, there's no salary coming end of this month. And then we see who reports. The people who report, they're in their purpose. But there will be few.
Yeah.
I assure you. So you're laughing. So, this is what Jesus said in John 18, verse 37. He said, "For this reason I was born. For this reason I was born." Are you doing what you believe? For this reason I was born? Zach, can you continue servicing your customers with no commission? And say, for this reason I was born.
In the long term, I think I need to achieve financial freedom.
There's a condition. Which one comes first?
I would say because what we do, at least, I feel like I met my purpose, and this purpose is to help other people attain financial freedom so that they can also focus on their purposes. So purpose, I think purpose also has a very high reward. If you focus on what your purpose is about, you're going to get a very high reward. So purpose should come first. The only problem is that in our societies, we don't have financial freedom. So you need to figure out the purpose as you earn the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So the question is, what is financial freedom in money? You see? That's a whole lesson by itself. There are many who have lots of money in the bank, but they are not financially. Have you met people who have a lot of money but they are poor?
Yes.
Yeah? They are mean, they are poor. Yeah? There is no difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because freedom starts from here. I know the problem is that we've naturalized freedom. Freedom is actually a gift from God. Freedom is a gift from God. If you are going to be insulted by your boss for a whole month, a whole year, and you still keep coming to the office, you have a problem. You are not free. You are not walking in the freedom that God gave you. Cynthia. You get it? What is true financial freedom? True financial freedom is knowing that God is your source, not your resource. And now that's when you know you're in your purpose. You get it? And we'll address that in the next point. But Jesus says, for this reason I was born. You know how powerful is that? Because he meets this governor, Caesar. And Caesar says, you know what? I'm giving you an opportunity to explain yourself because I have the powers to release you. Right? Jesus just keeps. When I read that part of the Bible, I'm annoyed with Jesus. Like, say something. Say something. But then Jesus like, me, I am the creator. I'm your creator. How can the creator be answering, seeking freedom from the creation? You get it? If Jesus wanted to free himself, he would have freed himself. He would have walked there and nobody would have seen him. Isn't it? But remember, success starts with the end of ourselves and begins with surrender. Surrendering to God's will. So Jesus was completely surrendered to God's will. Like, please, I don't even want you to free me. Me, I'm in my purpose right now. What you are about to do, the pain I'm about to go through, that pain, I'm in my purpose. I'm in my purpose. I was born for this. For this reason, I was born. So the question is, for what reason were you born? Because I can assure you, for some reason, you are born. Purpose anchors identity and directs your energy. Purpose anchors identity and directs your energy. So, who is Zach without money? Who is Zach without commissions? You see, that's the real freedom we are looking for, isn't it? Are you untouched if we take away all your commission? Do you remain untouched? You show up, same zeal, same human being, same energy. You get it? Same person. To some people, just one night, the commission is gone. The following day, you'll come from someone with a tummy to someone with a six-pack. Yeah? Because they can't cope with who they have become. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, does your identity change with your blessings? Identity should not change with your blessings. Without purpose, success is noise. Lorraine, without purpose, success is noise. But with purpose, success is worship. And now that's where we miss it. Worship is not lifting up hands and singing. Yeah, Teddy? Yeah? Teddy is my guy. Yeah? You were told, before you pray, we missed worship. So you worship, you lift up your hands, you sing, 5 minutes there to align. Align your spirit, man. No. Success with purpose is worship. It's a lifestyle, isn't it? It's a lifestyle. So, alignment brings forth what? Purpose. Purpose brings forth fruitfulness. Fruitfulness. You see, God measures success by fruitfulness, not by fame. There are so many people who are multi-billionaires, but they are not fruitful. They're just famous. Right? When I talk about fruitfulness, I have this imagination of a tree that is blossoming with fruits, like beautiful mangoes hanging. Branches are literally bending. Yeah, isn't it? With juicy looking mangoes. Many. So when you're in your purpose, you're like a tree that bears fruit. The thing is this, is the fruits are attracted to the tree, not the tree attracted to them. Isn't it? Do you see that picture? Is the fruits they abide with on the tree, isn't it? Not vice versa. So fruitfulness is divine evidence of a life rooted in Christ. So Jacqueline, there is no way you can be rooted in Christ, but you're not fruitful. Fruitfulness is the evidence of a life rooted in Christ. It's not about how busy you are, it's about what's growing from you. Yeah? You just start oozing blessings. You get it? You know what I like about this analogy? Because the world has cultured us to attract blessings, isn't it? We hold blessings, isn't it? We want blessings to flow to us. But what this is saying is that the fruit comes from us. It's inside out, isn't it? Who eats the fruit? Is it the tree that eats the fruit, or it's others who eat the fruit? Isn't it? That's how our fruitfulness is not judged by what we eat, it's by what we provide to others. That's why you can be a billionaire but you're poor, because you're not fruitful. I remember during the late Dr. Chris Kitubi's funeral, I stepped out of the tent and I went to the field and there were so many cars parked. Let me tell you, I have never seen so many sports Range Rovers parked. I have never seen so many. It was like a showroom, bigger than a showroom for sports Range Rovers, and all of them had one thing in common. All those people had worked with late Dr. Chris Kirubi. They were working in his companies. They were CEOs, they were executives, they were people, business partners. Fruitfulness. The question is, when our day comes, will people see our fruitfulness? Yeah? So, true fruitfulness is spiritual, not material. Let me put it different. True fruitfulness is first spiritual before it's material. It starts from inside and it manifests on the outside. So let's go back to the question that Zach was asking me. I mean, you know, this struggle between financial independence and being in your purpose, isn't it? If anybody who is here who is going to be a billionaire materially in the next 10 years, they're already a billionaire, right? Yeah? Are you together?
Yeah.
We're already a billionaire inside. You think like a billionaire, yeah? The laws, the way you interact with the laws of nature, you already are a billionaire. You know, I laugh because some of the meetings I go for, you know, I'm invited to meet clients. Maybe Zach invited, come and support me to talk to a particular client. And you know, this client is saying, you know, I'm so sorry, I only have 300 million shillings to start. They feel embarrassed to come to me with 300 million shillings. I know buyers will deal with big money. You get it? And I'm like, no, it's okay. We can take that too. You know, we can work with that. We can start from there. But then I ask myself, why are they thinking like that? Isn't it true? Yeah?
Because of how you have perceived yourself. So they have already seen that you handle a lot of money.
Yes.
But there's way you can go to the client.
Yes.
And the client will already tell whether we take with the investor.
Yes.
So they already yeah, actually since people you are normally told that based on how you behave,
Yes.
the client will give you the money that you deserve. Based on how you are behaving.
So, do you see? It's being a billionaire is not about how much money you have in the bank or how many assets, how much your net worth is. It's about the fruit that you're bearing from inside out, isn't it? I am not moved by billions. We go sit in a meeting, you say 10 billion. I feel nothing. If you put 1 billion in my bank account, it will not make me lose sleep. By tomorrow morning, it will be fully allocated. Are you hearing me? Isn't it? So when I meet another billionaire, I don't feel intimidated. I feel I'm in good company. I feel we can understand each other. Isn't it? But, and that billionaire says they can trust me with. There was one client who came to just the second year of forming Nabo Capital. Some Norwegian clients walked into my office and they said, we've heard about you. Okay, tell us about you. I didn't have a pitch. I didn't have a presentation. I just spoke about myself and my journey. 1 year later, they sent us $60 million. One go, boom. What did they see? The question is, what did they? Is it that did they see systems? Is it the systems that they saw? Is it is it the presentation which I didn't have? Or is it the person that they saw? Is the person that they saw? The person that they saw. So, if you're going to be a multi-billionaire, I want to tell you that God has already made you one. You already won. You already won. The problem is many of us are not walking in our identity. So fruitfulness is something that we ooze, not something we chase. Isn't it? Fruitfulness is spiritual before it is material. Like love, joy, peace. Okay? These things that are not, is not a track record. You get it? It is something that people feel about you that makes them trust you, that makes them want to give you money. I talk to people and they're like, hey, Pius, give me a bank account. I want to send you 5 million to invest for me. I'm like, what? No! That's not how it is done. You get it? But then I realized, God has given me a gift. And that gift is ability for people to trust me. And that gift puts a heavy burden on me. Because I can't abuse it. It's something that God has given me for my purpose, to accomplish my purpose. You get it? And if I misuse it, it can bring a lot of pain. So I'm super careful how I handle other people's money. Not just other people, my brother's money, my sister's money. Yeah, I'm super careful. My brother was working in South Sudan, and he would send all his money to me to invest for him. And I sat back and I'm like, I can't handle this like this. I opened a bank account for him, everything, and when he comes, I said, here is the card, go and that's your money, go do whatever you want to do with your money. But how many brothers and sisters have fought because of that? You get it? But if you take your brother's 100,000, you limit yourself from ever being trusted with $1 billion or billions. Isn't it? So it is these things. Yeah? Love, joy, peace. Those things are the things that make people really to trust you with money more than what you have done in them. Isn't it?
Yes.
So, and this is a beautiful one. God designed you to be fruitful in every season. Not in some season.
Yes.
That kind of answers the question I have. Does that mean when one is in purpose, the times of lack, the times you don't have? Yeah.
I think we need to define lack.
Yeah.
Because if lack is a lack of a job, you get it? Are you still eating? Are you still living in a house? Are you still dressing? The thing that many people can't cope with is when God provides for them and they are at rest.
Yeah.
When you're not going to work and your rent is paid and there's food on the table and you are hanging out with people like you have money but you don't have money. Our mind cannot comprehend that, but that is God's provision. It is just God saying, I am your source, not your resource.
I've been there.
Yes.
It was a season for God also to ground you, to keep you grounded.
Yes.
And to force you to be in deep rest, so that you know that is the master source, so that you are not tied to your salary. And that is the point where my mind shifted, not to depend on salary, but to take God as my source. Yeah. So it brought me back to Philippians 4:19. Shall provide for all your needs according to riches in glory.
Riches in glory.
Yes.
Exactly. So if you are in the kingdom, by the way, there is nothing like luck. It redefines what luck is. The problem luck in the world is lack of a job. But I have not seen anybody who is eating, drinking, and doing everything, and that's not luck. That's provision. That's providence. Divine providence, isn't it? And that's the part you should be most thankful. So, to finish on that statement, you are created to multiply God's glory in generations, in your generation. So don't just aim to succeed. Aim to be fruitful. The thing is this, when people meet you, do they meet God? You see, our fruitfulness is about the evidence of God in our lives. Yeah? Ken, we know there is that saying that says, as poor as a church mouse. That is so worldly. It has made so many, believers to be poor. Isn't it? People believe that the only way they can show that they are godly is by being poor. Now, that is just worldly indoctrination. If God is in your life, you are so fruitful. Let me tell you, if God is in your life and you are in investment, you start seeing opportunities that nobody else is seeing. I have so many examples for you. So many examples where opportunities did not exist. I literally created them and we made crazy money. But it took what? Revelation. And that's when now people say, hey, there's this guy. When he's in your team, you're always winning. You get, Joseph. The Bible says that Potiphar did not know anything that he owned except for the bread that he ate. The same Joseph, the keeper of the prison, says that he did not look into anything that was under Joseph's authority, because he knew that whatever Joseph did, God made it to prosper. Whatever Joseph did, God made it to. So this is the alignment you're talking about. You get, You can be in a season of famine. You're in a season of COVID, but God is just blessing you. And that's when you realize, hey, I'm not the one, I'm not the source. God is a source. So, alignment brings what? Purpose. Purpose brings forth fruitfulness. Now, divine fruitfulness, it brings forth meekness. I know you didn't see that one coming. Meekness. Power under control is true greatness. Power under control is true greatness. Let me tell you guys, if you really want to know people's character, your friends, these are the colleagues here, if you really want to know their character, just go and drop 1 billion shillings to everybody's account Then you meet tomorrow. You will be surprised. Some people will be transfigured, not transformed. Yeah?
Day and night.
Some people will not be able to walk on this earth after tomorrow. Yeah? If you want to expose a man, give him power. Yeah? You will walk somewhere, you enter somewhere, and the watchmen are stopping you. Ask them, do you know who I am? Have you met people who say that? Do you know who I am? Yeah? They're literally asking, do you know how much money I have in the bank? Yeah? Power under control is true greatness. So, as opposed to what we've been told in the world, meekness is not weakness. Meekness is not weakness. Meekness is strength submitted. It is a secret of every great man or woman of God. A secret posture. David, imagine being in the presence of Warren Buffett. He has every resource at his fingertips. The guy makes 20 years ago he was making $1.5 million every hour, even when he was sleeping. Yeah? Imagine being in his presence and he just wants to know about you. And he spends the whole day with you. Will you live there transformed, challenged, or will you live there thinking he's such a useless person? Transformed, isn't it? Eh? There is nothing as beautiful as finding a human being who is so blessed but so humble. It messes our minds because we were not wired that way. We were wired the more successful we are, the more we run away from God. Right? So, let me give you, someone explained to me the word meekness. The word meek. A long time ago, when people used to go to war using horses, yeah? There were horses which were called meek. These horses were the ones that used to be obedient to every word that comes from their master. They were super obedient, but they were also the strongest. Because when you go to war, this thing is totally submitted to you. So it was able to deliver victory in a way that no other horse could. Because imagine going to war with a disobedient horse. You tell it to run this way, it goes the opposite direction. Right? Isn't it? Eh? You lose the war, isn't it? Eh? You lose the battle, right? So these horses that were super obedient were called meek. And they were very strong. And they were the most potent horses in battle. So now tell me, is meekness weakness? You see, the world always tends to change things from what God meant them to be. I want to be a meek billionaire. But this meekness is very important because it means I'm fully submitted to the authority of God. That if he says, you know what, send that billion to Teddy, I just press the button and I don't even ask a question. And $1 billion lands in Teddy's, I leave Teddy to God because he needs God from there. But for me, God is like, who is this man who just can press a button and send away $1 billion like that? He's like, I will now trust you with 10 billion. Then he says, this 10 billion, can you now send to all Nabo people? Kwanza Victoria. I start with Victoria. Yeah? And you know what? It means money does not control me, but God does. And there is no vessel God likes that the one that is fully submitted to him, which means I want to be meek. I want to be submitted to God's authority, because when I'm in God's hand, I'm supernatural, I'm lethal, I can achieve anything. Whatever is impossible becomes possible. I'm in his full authority. When you see me, you see him. I am meek. Yeah? Moses was the meekest person on earth. Isn't it, eh? Yet God used him to lead a nation out of the greatest nation on earth then. Right? So, I am praying for all of you. I'm not praying for you guys to be billionaires. I'm not praying for you guys to be all those things. I'm praying for you guys to be meek. Because once you're meek, you are lethal. You become God's weapon. Yeah? Nabo will never ever be the same. Yeah? When we are if each one of us is fully submitted to God. The reason why we are struggling, Teddy, is because we are trying to do things our way. The reason why we are billionaires in dreams but not in reality is because we're still trying to do things our way. Yeah? We are looking for financial independence. You know, seeking financial independence can also be disobedience. Eh? Sorry, when I say those things, I'm even messing myself up. Eh? But I want to point people to what is the true source of financial independence. We put money where it belongs. Money is a great tool, but a terrible God. Isn't it? Eh? Money should be our servant and us the masters. So ours is we are fruitful. No tree eats its own fruit. Every tree yields fruit for others, isn't it? Eh? So I want to see myself as a tree. I want to be so fruitful that I invite all of you. You are eating. And that's what has been happening too. You get it? This company was just one person, Nabo Capital, isn't it? Eh? Now we have 40 families feeding. Now how can we make it 500,000, 2 million people working through Nabo all over the world? You get it? We will be fruitful, isn't it? Eh? Being fruitful. But the beauty about these things I've told you is kind of the work in the reverse too, isn't it? Eh? You cannot be, if you're not meek, you cannot submit to God. And if you're not submitted to God, you cannot be in alignment. And if you're not in alignment, you cannot be in your purpose. And if you're not in your purpose, you cannot be fruitful. So meekness is a good starting point. Total surrender. So if you want success that doesn't destroy your soul, start with God. Any other kind of success will destroy your soul. So seek alignment, discover purpose, and bear lasting fruit. Yeah? And walk humbly in meekness. Me, I want to walk here and people don't even know who I am. Yeah? Isn't it, eh? You don't need to chase success when you walk with the author of it. If I walk with God, I have everything. My daughter Tehila, I am using her as an example because she really knows how to squeeze everything out of daddy. Everything. Everything. Yeah? She knows how to say the sweetest words to me. Yeah? Now, tell me, what can I give her? She just needs to walk with me. I walk with her and like, which one? That one. Take. That one. Take. Take. But she started with my heart. Walk with the author of blessings, and blessings will come locating you. Yeah? So, in final closing, I'll say, the world defines success by what you have. But God defines it by who you become. So, the secret to my success is not strategy. It's a savior. It's him. And he is faithful to finish the work that he has started in you and in me. So you're God's gift. So go forth. Now you have no reason not to be successful. Thank you very much.